Hi everyone, welcome. I'm MisterBo, and today we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. So yesterday there was a brand new trailer for Adventure Mode, and we also got some brand new details, but shortly after that PlayStation decided to drop a 20-minute gameplay demo where they were playing with the creative director of Beanox, Thomas Wilson, and they showed off a lot of stuff, including we got our first look at Penta Penguin, as well as some of the different hubs in Adventure Mode, including Gemstone Valley, the Lost Ruins and the Citadel, which we'll be taking a look at in this video. Before we get into that though, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give the like button a big old hug. If you're new around here, feel free to subscribe for more gaming content and coverage, and if you do, be sure to also boop that bell icon so you're notified when my future videos go live. But with that out of the way, let's hop into it. So as I mentioned, this is a 20-minute video. I will leave a link in the description below so you can go ahead and watch it all for yourself if you'd like to, but we're going to be picking out some of the key important things instead of taking a look at the whole 20 minutes, because some of it's just races and we've seen that stuff before. So the first thing we can take a look at is the menu of the game. So this is the main menu. I don't know if it's going to change before we get to launch, but we've seen this briefly before in a leaked picture, so I'm assuming this is probably the final design for the menu. So at the top we have Adventure, we then have the local arcade, we then have online, which I know I'm going to be spending a lot of time in, we have Pit Stop, which is where you're going to be buying the customization and the characters and everything else that you've earned with the Wumpa coin, and then finally we have High Scores, so setting time trials and then comparing those with your friends online. As we click through into Adventure Mode, we have the classic 4 save slots, so you can create 4 different characters and have them in Adventure Mode, so you could have 2 in Classic and 2 in Nitro-Fueled if you like. And if you're not entirely sure what I'm talking about, well, these are the brand new modes. So firstly you have Nitro-Fueled mode, play with any item you have unlocked. Switch and customize your character and your cart as you see fit. And Nitro-Fueled mode also comes with a difficulty setting, so you can put it easy, medium and hard. So maybe your favorite character is Entrance, maybe your favorite character is Penta Penguin, maybe your favorite character is Entropy, and you've already unlocked them. You can go ahead and play with them in Adventure Mode as long as you are playing the Nitro-Fueled version. But we then also have the classic mode, which I talked about in my video yesterday. Play the original experience just like it was back in the days. One character from beginning to end, no customization or difficulty settings, but still get all the rewards. And if you didn't play the original Adventure Mode in CTR, it does scale as you go through the different hubs, with it starting off pretty easy, going to medium and then ending hard in the Citadel. We can then move on to the character selection screen. Now I don't believe we've actually seen the single player character selection screen with all 25 characters on it yet. Of course we've seen it in some split screen gameplay during the live stream, but here we have them all just nicely on one screen, all 25 characters. Are we going to be getting more than these 25? I'm not entirely sure. We do see Penta in just a minute. I assume he's going to be unlocked via maybe the cheat code like he was in the original, but the other characters, I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to wait and see. If you have unlocked any of these characters, you can play as them in the Nitro-Fueled version of Adventure Mode. You could play as Oxide, trying to go ahead and beat Oxide. It is all up to you. Of course we have the stickers, decals and carts. We've already all seen this before, but you'll unlock most of this through the Adventure Mode and of course in the Pit Stop. Now I'm going to let it play behind me, but this is the intro cinematic. In fact, I'm going to throw up a small comparison in the top right hand corner so you can see the difference between the new version and the old version. In fact, I believe in the old version it was Engine, Penta Penguin, and I think maybe Pura or Coco, who was actually racing around Coco Park in the original. Now of course it's the main 3, Coco, Cortex and Crash, and of course they've made this intro a little bit more cinematic in the fact that Oxide puts down this massive holographic head which is actually talking to the 3 of them, and he's a little bit more animated in his ship, which is nice to see. In fact, Crash here is even sleeping. He's not really paying attention to anything Oxide is saying. And a nice little feature is that Oxide has those big orange fluffy dice, which of course was the reveal of Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled back in December. They sent those dice out to various different outlets. We then have it flick through the different characters like it did in the original. I did cover this briefly yesterday. We see Coco, we see Tiny, and then we see Polar's one, and just like in the original, Penta Penguin is there. In fact, I didn't even realize Penta Penguin was in Polar's intro until about a week or so ago. So here is our first look at Penta. Of course he's got the iconic scarf, and he's even got like a little sort of purple mohawk this time, just to differentiate him a little bit from the normal standard penguins in Crash. Now I think you'll probably agree with me, this kind of confirms that Penta Penguin is going to be a racer in the game. We just haven't had it announced yet, and we don't know how you're going to be unlocking him. Is he going to be, as I mentioned, a cheat code like he was in the original? Maybe he's what you get when you complete all the different gem cups. We'll have to wait and see, but now we have confirmation of Penta Penguin, and we've seen what he looks like, and he's looking pretty cute. We then get a glimpse at Dingodile, which I covered yesterday, and then finally we see Cortex. No engine, because engine didn't have an intro in the original, so they didn't put one in here, but it would have been nice to see. And then it ends up with Crash laying on Crash Cove, and he eats a butterfly. And then we go into the actual adventure mode. We're on Sanity Beach here. Of course, Aku comes up, gives us the introduction to adventure mode. He is going to be guiding us through mainly the first hub, giving us the information about what is going on, how you collect trophies, how you collect relics, and so on and so forth. So let's take a look around the different hubs. Starting off with Sanity Beach, we can see Crash driving around here. They've done a really good job with the attention to detail in just these hub areas. We have some features from Crash Cove sort of thrown in here. We've got the giant faces of Crash carved into some of the rocks, which is now present in Crash Cove. Of course, we can see the giant monitor where you can save your game, and I'm assuming you can probably change your kart and character when in the Nitro-Fueled version. We can then flick forwards a little bit in this video to where Coco is driving around Gemstone Valley. Now, in the original, Gemstone Valley was called Gemstone Valley because it's where you completed the Gemstone Cups, and when you completed all of them, you could then go into Turbo Track. Well, they've decided to really go with the gemstone theme, and the area is covered in these crystals. You can even see some Cortex henchmen up on some of the walls as well. Now when we get to the middle of this section, we can see they've actually changed it quite a bit. So Oxide ship is no longer landed in the area, it's flying above. We have this sort of dome instead, which you're going to drive into. We have the giant holographic head of Oxide in the middle, which I'm assuming is probably going to taunt you as you're driving around. And then straight ahead you can see the doorway into the Gem Cup area. Again, if you missed the video yesterday, you no longer unlock bosses by completing the Gem Cups. You unlock them after completing that boss race. The Gem Cups are going to have some sort of other reward. What that's going to be, we'll have to wait and see. We can then look at Lost Ruins, which is the second hub area. This is where you're going to face off against Papu. Again, they've done an incredible job with this area. I think Lost Ruins was probably the blandest area in the original, and they've really brought some more life into it. And then we have the Citadel, which is the final area in the Crash Adventure mode, and they've really done an incredible job here as well. We have the area for Engines Labs. We can then drive down to where in the original we had the stained glass windows with sort of each of the bad guys on it. So we had one with Entropy, we had one with Tiny, one with Engine, one with Dingodile, and one with Cortex. Instead, they've changed that around, and each of these has a different picture of Cortex on it. Driving up here, we can then see the hot air balloons, which actually have Pinstripe's face on it now. Obviously, they've taken them from Hot Air Skyways. The blimps were there in the original, they just didn't have Pinstripe's face on it. And then we can see the podium area for this section as well. So this is where you're going to be going when you win those races. Speaking of winning races, let's take a look at the podiums. So some of you may be a little bit disappointed that we're not going to be seeing the trophy girls. They don't appear in the podium finishes. Some people had thought we'd seen them in the very first trailer, so maybe they are present in the game, they're just not on the podiums anymore. Maybe they're somewhere in Turbo Track or Slide Coliseum, but this is what it looks like when you go to the podium. Of course, we've seen some of this before in some of the previous trailers, but this is the first time we've seen the podium in action for Sanity Beach. If we flick to the end of the video, we can see a podium for when you've completed a relic race, and we have Coco here who is in the podium for the Lost Ruins. I think each of these podiums is looking really cool, and hopefully we actually get to see a lot more of the podiums from the different hub worlds instead of just Gemstone Valleys, because in the original, whenever you were outside of adventure mode, you'd always see the Gemstone Valley podium. So hopefully maybe when you're in online or whatever it might be, the podium at the end of the match corresponds to that track's hub area. Now the final thing to take a look at in this trailer is the full intro cinematic for Ripper Roo. We got glimpses of it yesterday in that short little trailer, so we can see the whole thing here. He comes down, he jumps on the pile of TNT crates and dynamite, blows up, lands in his cart, and then zooms forwards and backwards in all sorts of ways, and then into a portal, which is where you're going to go ahead and challenge him. Now I'm going to skip the race here because I kind of want to save that for myself. I don't want to watch this. I'm sure you guys want to save that for yourself as well. but we can skip towards the end of the race, and then we see the ending cinematic where Ripper Roo basically pulls up, he says you beat me, and he hands you over the key. And then once you've beaten that boss, you will unlock them as a character to play as. You will unlock their color scheme, so in this case you'll unlock the orange color scheme for your kart. I'm going to be racing as quickly as I can to beat Pinstripe so I can get that black color scheme for my kart, and then you also unlock a sticker so you can put that boss's face on your kart if you'd like to do so. And that kind of wraps it up for this 20-minute demo. We did get a lot in this. Again, if you want to go check out the full thing, I'll leave a link in the description below. It also features the full Crash Cove race, the full race against Ripper Roo, and then some full gameplay of a relic race on Coco Park if you want to go check that out. So what do you guys think of this? What do you think of Penta Penguin to begin with? Do you like his design? Do you think this definitely means we're going to be getting him as a playable racer? I mean, they've already said that all the characters from CTR and from CNK are going to be in this game, and well, he was a character you can play as in CTR. Maybe we'll get a reveal at E3. What do you think of the different hub areas? Personally, they're looking a lot better than maybe I thought they would have. They look really good. They put a lot of attention to detail in the hub areas and just the adventure mode altogether. Having those little bits of extra cinematics really adds to the whole story and makes you feel a little bit more immersed in what's going on. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And like at the beginning of the video, if you enjoyed this, be sure to give the like button a big old hug. If you're new around here, feel free to subscribe for more gaming content and coverage. We got a lot more Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled coming up in the next couple of weeks, and well, E3 is just around the corner, so there's going to be a few other games on the channel as well. And if you do subscribe, also be sure to boop that bell icon, because then you'll be notified when my future videos get uploaded and you can go ahead and check them out. But apart from that, thanks for hanging out with me, and hopefully I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.